Hey everybody, this is your teacher Dottie, and today we're going to go through working with Adobe Premiere, importing some footage, editing it, and then finalizing it as a video that can be seen on any computer in the whole world. So let's get started. I've opened up Adobe Premiere, and the first thing it shows me is where I can choose what projects and all that. I'm going to click on New Project. Maybe I need to double click on it. There we go. A screen comes up. First thing I'm going to do is name it. The place that I'm going to save my project is, I'll browse, and you see I've got, actually this is wrong. Let me get to the correct place. I did something dumb and stupid on my file organizations. I'm going to find it in Documents, Adobe, Premiere Pro 12.0, and here is where I'm going to save it, in this 12.0 folder. I'll explain to that. Well, okay, let me explain it to you now. The thing is that Adobe is very picky in where it wants to save your files. It's very helpful to you, and the reason that it's doing this is so it can organize everything that you have into one folder. You must save it here, and don't ever try to get around that and save it somewhere else. Also, if you're going to try to work on your project in different computers, don't think that you can just save it to a flash drive or anything like that, because, man, it's not going to work. When you save that project file, it's not going to bring all the associated files with it. It's going to be a total headache. So stick to the same computer. Select Folder. Now, in the General Settings, right here, Video Rendering and Playback, the renderer, I'm going to click on Mercury Playback Engine Software Only. Click on that. Leave everything else the same way it is, the defaults. I click on OK. Now, here's the scary part. In a second, see the little blue thing? This is the workspace. Oh my God, have you ever seen a more cluttered, undecipherable workspace? First thing, just like any Adobe product, you're going to find that there are many functions that you will never ever need to use. So we want to hide them so that it doesn't clutter up our minds with things. First thing you see, okay, let's go through the whole workspace. This is the name of the program, of course. What we call the second shelf is a regular menu starting with File. The third shelf, you're going to see your choices of some workspaces, Learning, Assembly, things like that. We're going to click on the Editing workspace. See, we click on it right there. Here's what it looks like, and also here's how I've set it up. In order to set up a good workspace for yourself, click on Window, Workspaces, and down to Editing. Then we'll save as a new workspace. I'm going to call it Dottie, and say OK. All right, now, the first thing, before we get into all these scary windows here, let's import some footage. Go to File, Import, and it asks us where all the stuff is. I've saved my file to my desktop, and I'm going to simply look for the MP4 file, double click on it. Now remember, when you have your video recorder and you're pointing at something and you hit record and then you hit stop and then you hit save, you didn't make a video. What you did was you shot footage. You shot raw footage. And you always want to shoot more than you think that you'll need. The making of the video is, the major part of it is post-production. And that's the post footage work. It's all editing. So now we'll go through the windows. This first window is called the source monitor. And it'll be a big window when we get going to show the raw footage. And from the raw footage, we're going to pick some points out of it that I call keepers and make subclips out of them. We'll take those subclips and we'll put them on the timeline. And you'll see the visual thing show up, and as we edit it, we'll be able to view our edits in the program monitor. So see, this is the source, this is the raw footage, and as we go through the editing project, we look at the program monitor. Down here is our project bin. And everything that we import and everything that we edit into making subclips, making titles and things like that is all going to appear down here as thumbnails. I'm going to take this, click on it, and drag it up and drop it into the source monitor. And here you go. Sorry. You see the beginning and you see the duration, the end of it. This is displayed in a time code format. All these numbers and colons. This is, the first one is the hour. Second one, minutes. Third one, wait a minute. Hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. And the frame rate is usually like 29 frames per second, something like that. That was set on the project settings that we set a minute ago. Over here on the timeline, you see that this footage runs 1 minute, 34 seconds, and 7 frames. Okay, now let's begin editing. We see the time manipulator is set at the beginning, and this is going to be the progress in the seconds and frames and things. Click on play. It plays the video, the footage. Now actually, we'll start, you see where he's pooping there? What we're going to do is go back to the beginning. And actually, at the beginning is where I want to start making a subclip. Then I'm going to stop when he starts pooping. Okay? Now here's how you do it. Here's how you select a keeper. Down here, these little brackets, you hover close to them, it'll say mark in, and the other one says mark out. We'll click on the mark in. Then we'll watch it. It's coming up, and we'll go like that. Okay, I've saved a little bit of space there so that I can trim this when I get down to the timeline. Okay, I'm going to click now, mark out. See, I got a little selection there. Come up here to the clip menu, make subclip. It also shows me that I have a keyboard shortcut I could use of Control U. I'll do that in the future. I click make subclip and it shows us subclip 001. I click OK and it goes down to here. See, 9 seconds and 17 frames. Okay, play it again. I didn't finish pooping there. Okay, looks like he's not pooping anymore, but I'm not sure. I really like the way he turns. But go back frame by frame. And I'm getting tired of going back frame by frame, so I'm going to go back a little bit more. This is called scrubbing through the video. Okay, looks like... let's go forward a bit. Okay, maybe that looks good. I'll hit mark in. Play it some more. Hit mark out. Use Control U. Here's another subclip it's made, number 2. Okay. Now we do the whole thing again. Let's do it right here. Okay, we'll stop here, mark out, Control U to make a subclip, number 3, yes. You can also name these subclips whenever you want to. Okay, now, start again. Oh, and actually let me hit an endpoint. I mean, an end, yeah. I really like that one where he bellows there. And Control U, subclip, okay. Now the really good part's coming up next. I'm going to mark in. Okay, mark out, Control U, make subclip, enter, okay. Now I'm going to start right here. Isn't this sweet? And mark out, Control U, okay. And we're almost just about at the end, so let's just play this to the end. Okay, there we go. Now, you know, in case you're wondering what this video is about, this is my herd sire, Kaviraja, and he's not very tame. And the reason that he's so agitated is that his girlfriend, Mambo, is about to have a calf. So she's separated from him into the birthing pen, and that's why he's upset. He wants to see her. That's all. Okay, now we look at this and we go, okay, there's my original footage. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subclips. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually drag all of these subclips. We'll click on the first one, hold down Shift, and then I'm going to drag them all over here to the timeline. And you'll see we've got it here on the source monitor, and here's the timeline itself. Again, it's set up in a timecode format. It's showing me each one of the subclips, and you see there's a little divider triangle thing in between each of the subclips, and of course a line separating them. This first track, V1, is the video track. The bottom one is the audio track. You always want to keep those two together because that way they'll stay synchronized. You can do things like you can mute the audio, for instance, and you could add some more audio, things like that. You could mute it and lock the audio track, but always keep it around so that just in case you need to go back to it, it's always there. Don't delete it or anything like that. And you can, let's see if we can do this. It's unlocked. It's not muted. Let's see if, you see when I try to select it, only the audio, the video also selects it. But there's a command that I can do to separate, split out the audio and video. But of course, like I said, I don't want to do that. So we put it on mute and we lock it. I want to look at my timeline here closer, larger zoomed in view. And I'm going to do that with these little manipulator things. And they're really weird to work with. I can never remember. There we go. That stretches it out. And we can see, you see in the audio part of it, this is a histogram. And when there are areas, it's never really blank, because there is what's called ambient noise. It's called NatSat, natural ambient something or other. But it means sounds of the atmosphere that are just around. And you see when the audio level gets loud, the histogram is bigger. We can also do these things more like that. Okay, now let's get into seeing this. Now, of course, this is not a real video that I'm making. Actually, the video that I'm making is of the whole thing because it's only like, what, 20 or 30 seconds long or a minute and a half or something like that. But I'm just showing y'all how to make subclips and edit in between them. So what we'll do, this is the time manipulator, and you see you can scrub through like that because you're going to be watching your video 10 trillion times. You get tired of it. Okay, so let's push play and see how it looks. Follow the time manipulator and you see how it jumped from one into the next. You'll see it again right there. Okay, and it goes on like that. And actually, I had the audio muted, so we're not really going to worry about that right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we don't need what's called this jump cut that jumps straight from one subclip into the next, really disorienting. So what we're going to do is put a video transition. We're going to put a dissolve transition in between these two subclips. The way that I do that is I get my effects menu. No, never mind. Forget I said that. No, forget I said that also. Down here, get all the way over here. I'm going to go up to the window, and I'm going to get it to show effects. Okay, it's showing effects and effects control, but I don't really like where it's showing them because I can't really find it. Let's see. There's effect controls. Down here is effects. Weird positioning, I know. Okay, now we get down here to video transitions. And we see we have all these different options. Iris, page, peel, slide, wipes, and zoom. Don't ever use any of them. In fact, I want you to say right after me, I will never, say I will never, use any transitions, say use any transitions, except, say except, for dissolve, say dissolve, unless, say unless, I am making a video, for little kids, or my grandma, because all of these effects are very corny and only little kids and grandmas and, you know, naive people will appreciate them. So we're only going to use dissolve. Click this arrow here to open that up. Additive dissolve, cross dissolve, blip, 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 like that. We're going to use a cross dissolve. We click on it. Click on it again and drag it over here and drop it. Now you see, as you do this, it's turned into gray selections on either side of the subclip, and you see this little, let's see if I can get it, you see this little icon, little thing over right to the right of it, looks kind of like an envelope, and they're two equal parts. If I slip it over to wait a minute, hang on, let me do it with this cross dissolve, and I'll do it over here. Now here you go. It's not doing the same thing. If you let's try it again. You go to, oh wait a minute, you go cross dissolve, and what I'm going to do is take it only, it's still going to do it in the middle. Well, let me explain it to you. If I took it only on one side, it would show me an unbalanced vertical mark, and it would indicate that the dissolve was only going to be on the clip that I was hovering it over, and I could hover it over the left side or to the right side. But now it's showing me a nice, sweet, agreeable, polite version that like never happens to me in real life. I get this warning, insufficient media, it's going to contain repeated frames. I click OK. Now when you look at the timeline, you can see it's got like a little yellow and gray symbol there. Now we'll go to the time manipulator and we'll see how that's working. You see, swoosh, it goes one into the other. And I can adjust it. I can adjust the duration of the dissolve. You see this little red left side arrow? I can make it like that. And wait a minute, I did the wrong thing. I'm going to hit Control Z, and that will undo it. Maybe if I double click on it. Set transition duration. It's at 1 second now. Let's make it 8 seconds. Okay? See, it gets way bigger. Time manipulator. Let's watch it. And man, that goes on forever. Not a good idea, not a good thing to do. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to go Control Z, and that turns it into a normal dissolve. Okay, now let's say I've got dissolves now between every subclip. Good. And I'm just going to leave them with that short duration. It's okay. Next, I will do something like I need to trim off this subclip right here. You know, like I said, when you select the in and out points to make a subclip, you always want to get a little bit before and a little bit after what you want so that you can have a little room to work with. I'll go here and let's just watch this part right here.